This reaction is brought to you by my $5 or more supporters at coffee.com/AlexHeitz. I'd like to thank Andreas Gleisel, Cole Alexander, Lukash Newman, Jag, Isidro Perez, Thin Ezzy, Willman, Lizardman, aka Bill, and Ben Thrifty for sponsoring this video, supporting me, my family, the channel. I appreciate it immensely, and I hope you all enjoy this video. It's October 1st. Time for Mount Spooky. Time for Mount Unnerving in Anacortes, Washington. Yeah, everybody, welcome back. Been a little while since I posted my last full proper album reaction. That was August 30th. Yeah, September was a pretty sparse month for me. My wife was out of town over a weekend, and been doing a lot of housework and home repair stuff, so just had a very busy schedule. Also busy with work, but we're back. We're getting into the swing of fall coming up here. My schedule should be kind of a little bit looser going into these fall months, which is nice. And what better way to kick it off than with just diving right on in to an area of Phil's music that I have never really been before. Yeah, so we're trucking forward with the continuation of the Glow Part 2 here, and I am very excited to get into this. For those who don't know, I do unedited reactions on my Ko-fi page, coffee.com/AlexHeitz. For $5 a month, you can get access to the whole back catalog of unedited album reactions. Goes back to April of 2021 that I started doing those. And I think we're over 100 albums in there, so if you want to get access to that back catalog, $5 a month will get you there. If not, you can hop in at the $1 per month level and get access to voting in polls that we do every 2 to 4 albums. Kind of just breaks up the monotony of going through an artist discography binge, and we just get to interject like a random miscellaneous album out of 4 in a poll every now and then. So if you want to support the channel, that'd be the place to do it. Also, I got to shout out NordVPN, link in the description for them. Fantastic VPN with great speeds, great prices. Check them out. Mount Eerie. Mount Eerie. This came out in 2003, following right on the tails of Glow Part 2. Now, I have heard a bit of this, but I don't remember it. We sampled, I think it was the self-titled track, when we were doing our, like, best of years playlist streams, which were, gosh, how long ago were those? I need to look. And I think we actually ended up choosing, let's type in years, let's see what we get. June of 2020 was the last one. Yeah, we were doing that throughout the summer of 2020, apparently. So I think we ended up choosing the self-titled track to go on that list of like best song or most notable forward-thinking song of that year for 2003. So yeah, this is 5 tracks. It's 40 minutes long, so it's not necessarily like super long, which Glow Part 2 was that an hour? Let me look again. 66 minutes, yeah. So this is shorter in comparison, but apparently it continues those themes. And I'm really curious to see like where he's going here, going into his Mount Eerie era, because it seems like he's getting a little bit more conceptual than he was before. Not that the Glow Part 2 wasn't, but like it was a little bit more immediate and intimate. Whereas I feel like the direction he might be going here and onward is more like big picture, kind of like storytelling type of stuff. I don't know. But this is apparently like one of the best avant-folk albums, one of the best psychedelic folk. I love psychedelic folk so much. But it also has like, you know, elements of apparently like tribal music in here as well. More drone, more field recordings as per usual. Yeah, I don't remember the self-titled track all that much at all. I don't remember what it sounded like. So yeah, I don't really know if I have a whole lot else to add here. I'm just really excited to listen. I mean, there's a, you know, ton of stuff about this on the Wikipedia about like what it's meant to portray, you know, like mountains, earth, and space, which is kind of cool. And yeah, he just thought that Mount Eerie in Anacortes was, or near Anacortes was, just a very interesting and compelling looking thing, and it inspired him to make this album and this music. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and hop right on in with the first track, "The Sun." This is the longest track on the album. It's 17 minutes long. It apparently picks up right where "My Warm Blood" left off, with like the foghorn and all that. So I'm very curious to listen to this and see how it sounds. So without any further ado, let's start in with "The Sun." We still have "I Want Wind to Blow" playing.
See my arm raised high. See that ship sails and see more salty tears flow. See me watch the waves roll in from somewhere to go inside. But I are above fire into my body. See me living and lose my sight. And where my eyes burn, here comes a black ship rising under red sail. And hear their scary trumpets and all hopeless and barren.
Oh, well, here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Nice. Very strong start. A bit, so like the main difference that I'm noticing, I don't know if this will continue because like that was a really long track. And the next one's only like 3.5 minutes. But we seem to be moving away from that, like, to the tracks that are like fun, because like on Glow Part 2, like I Want Wind to Blow is fun. The Moon is fun. Map is fun. Even though there's like a lot, I Am Bored is fun. There's a lot of dark moments on the album, but there's like pop songwriting mixed in like very well. It's one of the reasons why it's one of like the best indie albums out there, obviously. But now we're moving into much more of like a, I wouldn't say straightforward, but restrained, maybe like post rock sensibility kind of headspace here. Really cool opening. I was reading on the Wikipedia that it's like first 5 minutes represent time in the womb, and then up until he starts singing is the first 24 years of life. And it's like Phil is born at the base of the mountain, which I'm wondering, like, is he just like imagining all this in his head as he's dying from the bear attack, or is it like an actual like rebirth here happening? But he's born, like chased up the mountain by death riding on a black ship, which is really cool. And I love that build up there in the last minute. That was nice too. But yeah, definitely more of a post rock direction. Leaning on drone a little bit as well in compositionally even. So yeah, really cool. Lots of interesting moments. I don't know if it'll be my favorite on the album. It's hard to say. Let's go ahead and continue the next one. Solar System. I want to back this one up just like a second or two, and then click right into Solar System. So let's listen. Okay, it continues.
No, I'm lacking. I want what I see. Though here I am in the creek bed, so here I feel my way here. And now what dusty decay me down the canyon. Solar wind, la, da, da, da. No, you're out there. Your lanterns on lakes, or soccer balls on knees. Through your skirt I see, oh, you're out there. You're swaying in place.
You know, I just talked about how like seems like we're going in a different direction, and then here we have this. Very nice, very nice. Apparently borrowed from a track by what's his name, Kyle Field, from his project Little Wings. I have not heard the song Fall Flood, but yeah, very very wistful, breezy, but like I love, man, and like I'm really drawn to this kind of stuff because I'm also in this phase of my songwriting too, where after having listened to plenty of Elliott Smith, I'm like, I'm just not content with like writing songs that like Jeff Mangum can get away with, where it's just like bar chords, simple stuff, basic chord shapes, which is fine. But like, I don't find any kind of artistic enjoyment in making songs like that anymore. It's like Elliott has kind of set like a new standard for me, and going through Phil's music here has been very inspiring too, because it's like very strange chord shapes, but like technically the chords in a broader sense are kind of normal and easy to digest, but like the arrangement and the chord shapes and the melodies over them are what make them really interesting and unique. Yeah, very nice. I like that. I mean, technically I like that more than The Sun, I believe. But I really have a soft spot for when Phil does a song like that. Very, very nice. It pleases the Dagger by Slowdive fan in me. You know what I mean? I've talked about that before. All right, Universe. So I think this is where we start to get other people's voices, which I've liked the choir stuff so far. The backing vocals have been very, very solid. So I'm curious to see what Universe is like. Let's go.
See me look unveiled when I walk out of the canyon. There to see me walk out, there's no beacon.
Do you really think there's anybody out there?
So what? And I'm aimless, alone, and unraveling. And in the air that my trail passes by. Many times have I learned this before. Times have I made up this song before. I died up here before. And oh, how hidden tomorrow morning is.
Again, the choir stuff, the backing vocals is nice. Calvin Johnson. Hello, it's me, the universe. That's good. I like how the last track faded out and then like faded up again with the same thing, and then it like, I love how because he did this on the first track too, where he took the foghorn thing and like started to like morph it into that heartbeat, and then that morphed into drums, and he's been really good at going through different phases of composition that are very disparate from each other, but he just makes it smooth as butter. Yeah, not a whole lot to talk about at the moment. I'm trying to kind of soak in the lyrics as best I can, but also pay attention to the very eclectic music at the same time. It's very difficult, but I'm having a great time so far. We're probably about halfway through-ish. A little over halfway through, technically, so let's keep going. Self-titled track, Mount Eerie. Eager to listen in on this one again, see if I remember anything.
I'm on a boulder over alpine tops.
Strike you down and then I'll strike you down again. You see what happened? Peel away your bark and stain your blue sky dark. Death I ache to give, so take me in and crumple. be smothered in my rumble. My flash home, you'll fade from where you're found.
Hands gripping the tablecloth. Jeez. That's the one. That's the one. I got Blood Meridian vibes off of that, man. There's a lot to talk about on this one. So like just kind of going through it in order. Like this is definitely like the climax, obviously. And it just starts with this really like brooding intro, and then when the Precipice Carolers come in, which is Phil had where does it say this? For the choir, Phil put up posters in Olympia asking for singers, and he recorded 8 of them. And I'm assuming that's what that was. And they're listed on here. Includes Kyle Field and Phil, handful of other people as well, which I assume are mostly those 8 people. I loved how it just sounded like, you know, it was like just like a room mic with like natural room reverb and acoustics. And I really like how they like weren't singing all the same melody. They were just kind of like following like a chord motif, or a note motif, I guess. But like it felt like they were all individual people singing their own songs. And that was really cool. Gave it that sense of like foreboding about what was about to happen. And then holy crap, Kyle Field coming in with the rap. So that's the part that makes me think of Blood Meridian, because for those who have read that book, the judge Holden, that's his name, right? Gosh, I gotta look this up again. I read it like a couple years ago. I gotta find it. Blood Meridian, Cormac McCarthy, Judge Holden, yes, is a very ominous presence in the book. But he doesn't like take himself too seriously at times, and that's what's so terrifying about his character, is that he like does the most dark things imaginable, but does it with a giggle, like does it with a smile on his face, like he's having fun but doesn't think he is at the same time. It's very foreboding stuff, and that's kind of the vibe I got with the personification of death here. It's like we look at death as what it truly is, which is a terrifying thing, rightly so, not the way things are supposed to be. And death kind of laughs at us. It's just like, haha, whatever. And it's like, that's scary. Like the fact that was so funny and silly makes it scarier. And then that outro was awesome. Like these vultures eating Phil's body, with the really like, and the vultures are like saying back these memories that they're consuming through eating him, man. And then just the fade out into noise. That was a 5. That was a 5. Just like when I heard the glow, I'm like, easy 5. That's where it is, man. Really, really strong stuff. Okay, so we have the last track. This is Universe, the second one, Universe 2. Only 4 minutes. I'm just going to kind of expect this to sort of go out. And we'll be very eager to hear where this continues into future albums. This flew by. This did not feel like 40 minutes. This felt like 20. But anyway, last track. Here we go.
Now that I have disappeared, back you are unveiled. Let my voice bellow about you, silence. You have a bright disguise. See your face in blackest night. Your face looks just like mine. Open wide.
Few seconds of silence. Yeah. It's done. So obviously it's like a reflection on death and your place in the universe. In kind of a grim way too. There's a lot of like tragedy kind of built into that messaging and that story. Which is very somber, but very compelling too. Very, very lofty, I would say, and in a very tasteful way too. I don't know what that instrument was. It sounded like a horn, but I didn't know. Not completely. Maybe some kind of organ. Hard to tell. Gave me like Colin Stetson, Hereditary kind of vibe, where it's like very beautiful but very menacing at the same time. Yeah, it's like transcendent but like with sacrifice, you know? Gosh, okay. That is Mount Eerie. It is fantastic. It is very good. Not like a traditional album whatsoever, not even in like a post-rock sense. It has it feels like a movie. And not in a way that like, because when you say an album feels like a movie, your mind might go to things like Lift Your Skinny Fist or something like that, which that sounds like a soundtrack to a movie. It sounds like a score. Although there is some sense of like cinematic narrative that you can kind of draw through it that is very compelling. And that's here for sure. But this doesn't have that kind of like film soundtrack thing. It feels like a full story, like in your face, like an audiobook, radio drama. Wow. That's something else. I'd say my favorite track is probably Mount Eerie. Very fond of Solar System. Sun was cool, but like it felt more like of a utility kind of track than one that was like super listenable. I'm just not one for like drone. It's a weird like awkward place for drone with me, where it's like, do I enjoy like the short drone tracks, like the MBV one that goes like do-do-doom-doom for like 2 or 3 minutes or whatever it is, like that's short and palatable. And then there's the long drone stuff that goes on for, you know, quite a while. The Sun kind of fell in that awkward place for me, where it's like it went on a bit longer than I would have preferred for what it was doing. And sometimes there's stuff on the Glow Part 2 that does that as well, where it's like, if I'm going to sit down and listen to the whole thing, I'm probably going to shut it off before the last, several minutes, because I don't want to just listen to the foghorn and random flares of music, unless I'm like trying to listen to these like in order back to back to follow a story. But like as a music album, you get what I'm saying? There's certain amounts of listenability with stuff like this. I'm referring to the soundtrack in particular, but as an album, this is cool. This is really cool. I am very glad that I heard this. It wasn't quite what I was expecting. I was kind of expecting something more in line with the Glow Part 2, but preparing myself that it might not be that, and it really wasn't. I'd say Solar System is probably the most like his old material that he's done. But yeah, this is just way more cinematic, grandiose, but still intimate. It doesn't feel like it's some kind of big post-rock spectacle Christopher Nolan movie that you're watching. It still has like a indie feel, although it's very like profound and deep. So yeah, liked it quite a bit. Eager to re-listen to it for sure. All right. That is all I got, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you enjoyed the video. Things to plug. Yet again, coffee.com/AlexHeitz. $5 a month gets you access to unedited reactions, of which this is one. And I also got to shout out the Discord, link in the description for that. Got about like 200 members over there. It's not the most active server because I am not able to be on it super often, but I will post there when I go live on YouTube or Twitch, and I'll post early access links to unlisted reactions and stuff like that. So if you want to join the Discord, check it out in the description. That's all I got, everyone. Yeah, so this is coming out on Saturday. I should also be doing a reaction for Viva Dixie Submarine Transmission Plot. Is that right? Sparkle Horse. The same day. And that's probably going to happen right after this video comes out. And if you're watching later in your life in the future, then it's already done. Yeah, super eager to keep going through Phil's stuff. I am finding it super compelling, and I just keep adding more content to the reaction list as time goes on. Like, I added No Flashlight and Clear Moon a few days ago, and while I was recording this, I added the EPs, Mount Eerie 6 and 7, and then Blackwood Ceiling opening. And I'll do those together as probably like a live streamed reaction for those. And Phil's music has actually been, they released the claims when I dispute them for fair use. So it's like, bless you, Phil. Love you, buddy. Very appreciative of that. So makes my job a lot easier. Anyway, that's all I got. Thank you all so much for watching. I will catch you around in whatever I do next and all of that. So until next time, take care. Fare thee well. Godspeed.